Good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Lowell. Today is Thursday, April 16th. This is your next reading assignment. It is titled Slavery Dominates Politics. It is due tomorrow, April 17th. Once again, it is a reading with a few videos, short videos that talk about topics in the reading. And of course, the reading response questions. You have to make a copy of the document, answer the questions, and then turn it back in. This is today's reading. Slavery Dominates Politics. There's a lot of new vocab. Some of them are more important than others and are on the Quizlet. So I'll just kind of show you guys here the really important ones we care about. The Republican Party. When we say a party, we're not talking about like a birthday party. It's a political party that is a group of people who have the same opinions or beliefs. The Republican Party formed in the 1850s. It was an anti-slavery political party. The other term here we care about is Dred Scott v. Sanford. This is a court case that extended the rights of slaveholders and limited the efforts to challenge slavery. We're going to talk about that today. And Abraham Lincoln, who we know as President of the United States, but in this reading, he's an Illinois Republican candidate for the U.S. Senate. So he's running for the Senate in Illinois in 1858. The first part of the reading here talks about the Republican Party and how it forms. It basically, prior to this, there were two major political parties, the Democratic Party and the Whig Party. The Whig Party kind of split over issues concerning slavery, and the kind of people who were anti-slavery formed this new party called the Republican Party. And they nominated this guy, John Fremont, to be president in 1856. Unfortunately, he did lose that election. So these Republicans were Northerners, and they were anti-slavery, and that kind of freaked out the South a little bit. But these are politicians who took a position. One of them, of course, as we'll learn about, is a guy named Abraham Lincoln. It talks here about the election of 1856. There were different parties, there were different candidates. But in the end, who won was a guy named James Buchanan. He became the next president. This election kind of broke down like this. Remember, the Electoral College is the state system we use to elect president. So you see here the Democrat Buchanan won the entire South, the bordering states, and a few of the northern free states. So he kind of won overwhelmingly. Fremont, the Republican, won some of these very northern states. And you can see here that the Whig Party had Fillmore. They won very few electoral votes. So this kind of shows, the political map here shows kind of the divisions. Democrats were really strong in the South, and this new party, the Republicans, would be really strong in the North. Anti-slavery, pro-slavery. The next part of the election talks about the Dred Scott case. And essentially, Dred Scott was a slave who was brought to a northern territory by his master. And when he gets up there, he kind of gets away from his slave owner, gets a lawyer, tries to sue for his freedom. He's on free land, so therefore he should be free. This court case made it all the way to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court made a ruling on it. Now, the problem with the court's ruling is that the court's ruling really is going to take sides on the issue of slavery. It's either going to take sides with the abolitionists and the anti-slavery folks, or with the pro-slavery folks in the South. And their decision essentially was that they said that Dred Scott was not a citizen. So because he's not a citizen, he cannot sue. He doesn't have the legal right to sue in a U.S. court. Furthermore, slaves are property. Properties are protected by the Constitution. By taking this position, the Supreme Court is really taking sides on the issue of slavery. And it didn't make the matters better between the North and South, and made it worse. The next section here talks about what were called the Lincoln-Douglas debates. These are famous debates that took place in Illinois between Abraham Lincoln and Senator Stephen Douglas, and basically it was a debate over the issue of slavery in America. And kind of the positions that were taken on this were really kind of it kind of showed where the North was going with slavery. Lincoln's position, of course, was that slavery shouldn't end, but that slavery should stay where it exists in the states that exist. But as America moves west, it should not move with it. So he's very clever in making the statement that he doesn't want to end slavery, which wouldn't upset the South, but that it shouldn't extend anymore, right? The last part of the reading talks about John Brown's attack on Harper's Ferry. So basically, here's the deal. Harper's Ferry, here's a painting of it, was this arsenal in Virginia, and it was basically where the United States military kept a lot of its supplies. John Brown and his supporters attacked this arsenal, and their plan was to get weapons to liberate the South and liberate slaves in the South. And it was really quite it was like a terrorist attack the way people looked at it. He was eventually found, he was tried in court, and he was executed um, as an act of terrorism against the United States. But many people in the North kind of saw his attempt as like, wow, this is great. Like, this guy is willing to physically fight against slavery. And then people in the South were very concerned because they thought like, well, there's going to be more John Browns, and there's going to be more people who are white who are going to attempt to end slavery through violence. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the reading. I'm hoping that you read through it, answer the response questions. Once again, if you have any questions, please contact me, email me. I want you to work hard, stay safe, and be nice. Have a good day.